My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism, and we've been discussing with Jon Fidler from Fidler Associates on all the things that are necessary to hire the right executive for your DSO. And I am excited, and we've done many segments together, but I think one of the things that excites me the most about Jon is his background in sports, and specifically baseball. And I've taken a lot in my life, in my business life, and I've taken a lot of lessons from sports on leadership, on team building. And I wanted to kind of bring his baseball experience into the mix right now in terms of recruiting, right? Because you know why do teams succeed, and why do athletes perform at their peak? And one of the reasons they do is they know who to hire, when to hire them, who are the right candidates, and the process, they've taken it to a science. And Jon was at Arizona Diamondbacks as a scouting recruiter, and he went all over the place to find the right team members and candidates that can fit different positions. And I bet you that has probably had the most impact on how you recruit in dentistry today.
Yeah.
So talk to us about it a little. How was it like? What was the process, and what was the mindset at the top like when you recruited a player?
Yeah. So, like you said, I think it has definitely helped form my love of executive recruiting and trying to find specific talents and specific backgrounds and histories, and where I think maybe somebody's ceiling could be. Sure. Not just right where they're at currently, but I always love to kind of project, hey, can they grow into this role?
Sure.
And that did. It happened quite a bit when we were with the Diamondbacks, and so it's definitely a mix of gut feeling and analytics.
Sure.
Of looking at somebody's talent and their physical attributes and where they are as a 16-year-old kid in high school, but then also projecting them 6 years down the road. When they are kind of hitting their peak, and is their body going to fill out? Are they going to be the type of person that's going to continue to work hard? So there's a lot of different tangibles that go into making a complete player, somebody that's going to contribute. And I feel like it's the same thing as we do the executive recruiting.
Absolutely, because you've got to look at it, right? I mean, that's why people who do their homework, will come out ahead. I mean, you have to do the work in executive recruiting, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And sports does it right, because it depends, right? Because your team performance depends on that. Everything depends on the success of hiring the right people.
Yep.
Whether it's a coach or assistant coaches,
yeah,
or the entire team, the process is a lot more involved. And as businessmen, we should also, we should take that lesson from sports and saying,
yep,
hey, if they can do it, all we have to do is emulate. The problem's been solved. These guys are already doing it, right?
Yes.
And all we're trying to do is look at the rigor that goes in recruiting the right person.
Yeah.
And the same rigor that should be followed when you hire somebody at a C-suite level, an executive, because you're hiring a ball player, or you're hiring somebody who's going to perform at that level.
Yep.
And you want to make sure that you go through the entire process.
Yep.
And is that what Fidler and Associates and you do specifically, is take that approach and take analogy into recruiting?
Yeah, and we firmly believe that the people of an organization are what make the organization. So, we can do fillings anywhere, we can do, root canals, but if you have the right people in place and, the right people in the right spot on the bus, if you have them doing what they are good at and leading that team,
sure,
then it becomes more profitable. It becomes more enjoyable. Just as a dentist or as an organization, you enjoy going to work more because you have the right people in the right spots, and you're able to focus on doing what you like to do.
Was there a time when you hired somebody from a different baseball team? What was the process like? And then were you successful in hiring them from a different team? They were already doing really well.
Yeah. And so a lot of times, and kind of looking at it more of a trade. They're not a free agent out just where they can sign everybody. It's more of a trade. And so what we do is we would invest in people, which is mainly what we do, to go out and investigate those people. Whether it's personality,
sure,
attributes, how they perform in certain situations, left-handed versus right-handed pitching. I mean, all of these things, and we would need to step back and say, okay, what do we need? What type of person do we need? And so that's how we do it with the groups, is we can kind of sit down and say, okay, what type of person do you need? And then we can go out and put the labor into working.
It's harder though, right? Because in sports, you know their stats, right?
Yes.
They're public, right?
Yes.
You see every game. You could potentially see every game.
Yeah.
You don't know their stats here.
True.
So
True.
It's a harder process.
Yeah, it's a harder process, and I think that's where maybe getting into their work background and, hey, tell us some successes you've had. And is there a batting average of 300 for a chief operating officer? Maybe not, but at the same time, you can see what their actions have done to grow that company and what they're responsible for. And so, whether it's a batting average or an aggregate score that we would put on somebody to make sure that they fit these checked boxes, we kind of know what we're looking for, and there's a lot of different perspectives.
Do you have stats that you've created in your organization that kind of mirror the stats that you looked at before?
So what we'll do is, so if we're looking for a chief marketing officer, sure, right? And what we would like to do is say, hey, show us some data-driven material that you have, you came up with this certain program for patients, for internal patients.
Sure.
And so did you take it from a 70% acceptance rate up to an 85% acceptance rate? So, that to us is a 300 batting average. That is our 30 home runs or whatever we can put on it. So so there's a correlation there that we can definitely make. But again, it depends on sitting down with the owners of the organization and seeing exactly what they need on the inside. And then we can go out and find folks that have performed that way.
Exactly. I mean, sports always works, right? All you have to do is look at what these guys do. Whether it's in football, baseball, whatever sport that is.
Yeah.
At the professional level, they have this focus on making sure that everything they're doing is systematic, right? I mean, you don't want to have this ad hoc hiring process where you're just, okay, I love this guy, wonderful, I'd love to hang out with him, gets along with everybody.
Yep.
And there's no process, there's no due diligence, there is no system, there's no stats that you're gathering on them.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the reasons why a recruiter like Jon comes in, because you want to have some sort of discipline in this process.
Yeah.
And without discipline, you're not going to find the right. And you might get lucky every once in a while.
Sure. Yep.
But I'd rather be good than lucky.
I would agree.
I've said that all day long. I want to make sure that I've taken all the steps necessary to identify the right player to be on my team.
Yeah, and I think too a lesson maybe to be learned is that the sports teams put so much emphasis on the people and recruiting the people. And so as an organization, it's one thing to say, hey, we're going to go place an ad, on LinkedIn or whatever, and see what comes to us. It's another thing to go out there and say, hey, we're going to put some, some financials behind this and put some effort behind this. And then, it's just like everything else. The more effort and the more serious you take things and put into it, you're going to get a better return on it. And you're going to be more positive with the people you hire. And then in turn, it's going to make the organization better.
So if you want to win, right? If you want to win, and everybody wants to win, nobody wants to lose.
Right.
You want to have a systematic process of hiring and recruiting people. And it's hard to do this at home. Believe me, I've tried it and failed. I think having a team, whoever it is, whether it's somebody who understands recruiting, somebody who understands that there is a discipline behind hiring, there's a science behind hiring the right person. Yep. And so it's interesting to talk to you about sports and what you did. Obviously, you're this unusual guy, and I mean that in a good way, who's got sports experience and who's got dental experience. Right, you were at Patterson for 12 years, and now you're in executive recruiting. So the combination is just magical. So I'm really excited to know you and to hopefully utilize you in the future as we continue to grow our organization, as well as help you and help more than help you, but help our clients understand the value of this. Right?
Yeah.
Is because they need to understand that if they don't have this design mindset into everything that they're doing in dentistry, something's gonna not give, and then you're not gonna reach your full potential.
Yep.
So great discussion. Yeah. I'm excited about working with you, and we'll continue to see this industry evolve and grow, and hopefully we'll be part of it.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.